Irashaimase! Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. It's time once again for the weekly gaming news. So what do we have on the menu this week? Let's get cooking and find out. Leading off our news stories this week, we've got Pokemon Company's announcement of Pokemon Go. This is one that I've kind of got mixed feelings on. So, Pokemon Go, from the first line of the trailer, imagine Pokemon in the real world. So what Pokemon Go is supposed to go and be is it's a augmented reality app that's going to be developed for iOS and Android, so mobile. And at this point, well, admittedly, I can't go and be too harsh on it because we really don't know that much about it. But it's going to be developed by Niantic Labs. They're the company behind the game Ingress, which is an augmented reality game that's been available for iOS and Android for a while, where you go, to real world locations and set portals and that sort of stuff. It's definitely at least seemed like an interesting idea. So at least it's a company that goes and has some idea of what they're going and doing when it goes and comes to augmented reality. But the basic idea behind Pokemon Go is that you're supposed to be able to go out into the world and through GPS technology in your cell phone, go and locate Pokemon and go and catch them, and then they'll also go and be the usual being able to go and trade and battle that just goes and associates with Pokemon. But at this point, there's really not a whole lot known about what kind of gameplay there's actually going to go and be. And on Nintendo's side of things, there's also a little companion device called the Pokemon Go Plus, which you can go and tie into your smartphone via Bluetooth, which will go and alert you if a Pokemon's nearby. And then you can also use it for things like throwing Pokeballs, that sort of fun, like kind of world stuff. Really, at this point, with us not really knowing a whole lot about the game, I can't go and say a whole lot about the title. I'm just hoping that they get this one right. I know that Nintendo's going and making this big push for mobile and going and getting a Pokemon-style game, or specifically Pokemon game, in that realm could be huge, but it could also go and be a disaster. A lot of it will go and depend on how it's monetized. So, I'm hoping for the best, but at the same time, I'm not going and getting my hopes up very high for this one. Alright, so second item on the menu today, we've got Shovel Knight. So after, what is it, almost a year and a half after the release of Shovel Knight on the Wii U, we're finally going and getting the first Shovel Knight expansion. Plague of Shadows. So that's release date has been set for September 17th. So this week, in just a couple days, we'll go and finally get the first Shovel Knight expansion. And it's going to be available free for all Shovel Knight owners to this point. So whether you went and bought it on the Wii U, 3DS, PlayStation, Xbox, you will be able to go and get yourself a copy of this expansion when it goes and comes out. It basically goes and sets a little bit of a different scenario behind it, where you're not going and playing as Shovel Knight, but you're going and playing as Plague Knight, one of the Orders of No Quarter knights that you have to go and battle as Shovel Knight. So I've watched a little bit of the gameplay, and it definitely goes and shakes up the formula of Shovel Knight a lot, where instead of going and using Shovel Knight's shovel with his pogo and his dig moves and all that, you're actually going and using Plague Knight's potions, going and throwing those and using those in different ways for like double jumps and that sort of stuff. Anyway, it should be a great addition to the Shovel Knight game, and it'll be available for free September 17th. A few other release dates to go and note. So Axis went and recently confirmed the release date for a couple of their visual novels going and coming out fall. So I think I might have mentioned them in the past, but just to go and reiterate, Axis is going and releasing 2 Otome visual novels later this year. The first one, Code Realized Guardians of Birth, is going and releasing on October 20th. And the second one, Nor 9, Vars Commons, will go and be releasing 2 weeks later on November 3rd. So this is definitely big, especially if you're a fan of visual novels and especially of Otome visual novels, because really in the latter half of this year we'll go and have gotten 3 Ultimate visual novels for the PlayStation Vita. Amnesia in August, and then Code Realized in October, Norn 9 in November. So that's absolutely huge for that particular genre that we're going and getting as many games in the latter half of the year. So huge plus there. Axis, you're going and doing great work. Keep it up. Alright, moving on to the next release date item that I go and have. This one is maybe not as big, but I'm definitely excited about it. I want to go and see more about this title, hear more about this title, and that's Genai Inbun Roku Sharp FE. That's quite the mouthful. But it's basically the Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem title that Nintendo went and announced like 3 E3s ago. It finally is going and coming out. The Japanese release date was announced this week and is coming out in Japan on December 26th. So it is going to go and make it 2015. No word on its international release yet, but I'm really looking forward to going and getting my hands on this awesome looking Shin Megami Tensei Idol RPG is kind of how it looks. So stay tuned for more information on that one. Then, release date wise. So, if things had gone as they were originally, well, not even as they were originally scheduled, as they had been rescheduled, we would go and be getting Mighty Number 9 this week on September 15th. But, well, in an alternate reality, maybe we did. This reality, we didn't. So, that being the case, I went and found this browser game that was released in Japan for Mighty Number 9 that you can go and play in place of Mighty Number 9. Its gameplay might not be quite the same, but it's a little fun diversion all the same. So I'll go ahead and include the link in the browser or in the description below. So by all means, go ahead and check out that Mighty Number 9 browser game. It's at least entertaining. And then, last but certainly not least for this week, Segata Sanshiro, Segata Sanshiro, Segata Sanshiro. That's right, Sega's 1990s pitchman for the Sega Saturn, Segata Sanshiro, is going and showing up in a new game. In the crossover title Project X Zone 2, we're going and getting the return of Segata Sanshiro, who, if you're not familiar with, was this awesome martial artist that Sega went and made all these insane commercials with back in the mid to late 90s. And towards the end of that time, he even went and got his own game before going and meeting an epic end. Well, I'll go ahead and include a link to a compilation video of the ads down below. Definitely go and check them out if you're interested in just a little bit of Sega's history. But it's super exciting for Segata Sanshiro to go and be making an appearance in, well, fun crossover title. If you're not familiar with Project X Zone 2, that's a interesting title that's a strategy RPG that goes and takes characters from Namco, Capcom, and Sega and goes and mashes them all together in this massive, like, cross-dimensional, like, battle against evil forces. You know, the first one had its issues. It was definitely super grindy, but the second one, just based off of its roster alone, is one that I'm going and looking forward to. So, once again, that's another one that you can go and expect to go and hear a little bit about me from. Anyway, that being the case, it's kind of a light week for news, so that's about all I've got for you. But expect quite a bit more next week, as this week we go and get Tokyo Game Show going and starting on Thursday, the September 17th. So look forward to even more news next week. Thank you so much for coming out to go and enjoying me. As I've been going and saying, I'm still trying to go and develop this news program. So if there's news stories that you would like me to go and cover, or types of news that you want me to go and cover, or any kind of comments for improvement that you think you can go and give me about the show, please leave those in the comments below. I definitely want to go and hear them. That being the case, thank you so much for coming out to go and join me, and we'll go and see you again next week.
Segata Sanshiro!